This is Jared Horak for today's RacingDigest.com, and my Today's Racing Digest video series will continue on Saturday, July 27th, 2019. We're going to do the 11th race from Saratoga, the Jim Dandy Stakes. But before we do, last week we did Monmouth Park. We did the Haskell Day stakes races, all 6 stakes races. Ended up with 3 winners, had Just Howard, Midnight Bisou, I'm So Fancy, and then a second place finish, Mucho Gusto. So 3 wins and a second out of those 6 races. Had a good week last week on the digest video. Let's see if we can give out another winner this week. We're just going to do the Jim Dandy this week and do wagering strategies. That's Saratoga race 11, the grade 2 Jim Dandy, a mile and an eighth on the main track at Saratoga. 6-horse field. Number 1 Laughing Fox is probably the least likely winner. I like this horse. I just think that the problem is he doesn't have any speed. He's 15-1 morning line. He's going to be last. He'll probably be lagging behind the field. There's not a ton of speed in this race. I don't think enough that the pace is going to collapse. I wouldn't be shocked maybe if he finished 3rd or 4th, but just based on the way that the race shapes up, I don't think he can win this race. Number 6 War of Will is one I've never really been a big fan of. He's 5-2 morning line. He ran in all 3 legs of the Triple Crown. He did win the Preakness Stakes, had some trouble in the Derby, didn't run well in the Belmont, but he was running wide. The inside lanes were best, but he still didn't run a good race that day. He just seemed tired after a grueling campaign. He started his year early this year. He's been running in a lot of preps and then right through the Triple Crown Series. He has been training well for this. He has tactical speed in the outer post. He could sit a good trip, but if you look at his speed figures, and you get back to January and then you look now, they're not any better. So he really hasn't improved at all from earlier this year. He'll probably take more money than he should because he won the Preakness, and I'm going to try to beat him. I wouldn't be shocked if he ran a decent race because I think he's going to set a great trip, but I just don't know how good he really is, especially now after he's run all those races. Number 3 Mijos is a bit interesting at 15-1. I think he needed his Dwyer return. I think he's going to be fitter now. I just don't know how far he wants to run. I don't know if he wants to go a mile and an eighth around 2 turns on the main track. We'll have to see. He could be a miler, but Jimmy Jerkins is a good trainer, and he wouldn't throw this horse in a spot for no reason. We know this horse has some ability. He won the Mucho Macho Man Stakes over the winner at Gulfstream Park. Number 2 Tax is probably the one to catch. He drew towards the inside. This year, he was a former claimer, and then he won the Withers Stakes, a grade 3 at Aqueduct over the winter. He was 2nd in the Wood Memorial behind Tacitus, today's favorite. In the Kentucky Derby, he didn't run well on that wet track. And then in the Belmont, he was an okay 4th. So he's one that he's capable of at least hanging with this group, and if he can get out there and just get a clear lead, he could be interesting. Number 4 Global Campaign should be close to Tax throughout. He's 3 for 4 lifetime, and he looked good winning the Peter Pan Stakes. That was at this distance, a grade 3 at Belmont on May 11th, but that was around 1 turn. Now, how is he going to run a mile and an eighth around 2 turns? And then coming off of a layoff, he hasn't run since that race either. He's fresh. He's got some tactical speed. And looking at the fast figs, something I'm going to be talking about in upcoming videos, starting this week, he has a 136 fast fig, and we're going to pull that up right now on the screen, and you can see the fast figs in this race. The class par is a 140, and he's got the 136, and he has a 5-point edge on the rest of the field. So he has a good fast fig behind him, and the fast fig is a combined class performance rating. So he's one that I think could win this race. He's going to sit a good trip, but I'm going to go with number 5 Tacitus. He's your morning line favorite. He's 7-5. He was my top choice in the Belmont. He's very consistent. He's always there running his race. He won the Tampa Bay Derby earlier this year. He won the Wood Memorial. He was 3rd in the Kentucky Derby. He was 2nd in the Belmont Stakes. In the Belmont Stakes, he was best. There's, little doubt in my mind that he was best that day. He was hung out outside post. He was wide throughout. He was just parked wide, and I said that it was a golden rail that day. If you were towards the inside, you were good. And he just couldn't get over there. Sir Winston was down on the inside, and he was able to win by a length. I think Tacitus was best. If he sat a better trip, if you reverse their post positions, Tacitus wins. And he ran a good race anyway to finish 2nd. So now if he can just get a fair track, he can win this race. The Wood Memorial was at this distance. That was his only start at this distance, and that was his best career effort. Jose Ortiz is going to ride. I think he's going to probably stalk the pace in mid-pack. He won't be too far back. You'll have Tax in front. You'll have War of Will and Global Campaign in 2nd and 3rd, and then probably Tacitus will be right behind that group within striking range. And I think he can just wear these down. A mile and an eighth is a good distance. He has an excellent pedigree, and And I just think he might just be a touch better than these, but Global Campaign certainly capable of beating him. But here's how we'll play this race. We're going to make a win wager on number 5 Tacitus if that morning line holds up. If he drops below, if he's even money or less, don't want to make a win wager. But if he's 7-5 or higher, 8-5, I'd bet him to win at those odds. We're going to play one exacta, Tacitus number 5, over the floor Global Campaign, and then a trifecta key. We're going to key Tacitus number 5 on top of number 2 Tax, number 3 Mijos, and then number 4 Global Campaign. So that'll be the wagers in this race. And getting back to the fast figs for a minute, if you're interested in purchasing the fast figs, you can get those at todaysracingdigest.com. The fast fig, as I said, is a combined class performance figure. It's based on the horse's effort and strength and level of the fields that he's been facing. So this is a nice performance, and it's been very good number for Today's Racing Digest. If you're a win, place, and show better, it shows a positive return on investment if you just blindly bet the top fast fig number on a horse that has some kind of decisive edge. That would be Global Campaign in this race. And you can check out the links in the description in this video. I'll give you more information on fast figs. And you can also get fast figs $39 a month at todaysracingdigest.com. And my full cards from Del Mar are also available at todaysracingdigest.com, along with the complete digest for Saratoga for Jim Dandy Day. You can find that at todaysracingdigest.com as well. That will wrap up this week's video. I'll be back next week with another stakes race from around the country.